would it be weird if I talked about like ultimately style is subjective? Like that rule is very antiquated. You're overthinking it. I think you're too fixated on that detail.
Because I'm much too neurotic for menswear. So I've got this website about boots, and I really kind of started it because I'm just really interested in like the construction and the way they're made and the beauty of old leather and stuff. But after a few years, I just kept getting asked these questions, how to wear these boots, how to style these boots. And I'm really not an amazing dresser. I try not to dress badly, but I definitely don't dress well. So when I got the question that I think is probably the most common question I've been asked about how to wear boots, which is how to wear Thursday boots. I live in New York City, so I figured I'd just come down to Thursday Boots and ask the VP of Marketing, Nate Ma, how to style Thursday boots. Thank you for coming on the channel.
Thanks for having me.
Nate is known as Randall Westmore on Instagram. He's a prolific content creator in the menswear game outside of Thursday Boots as well. And so Nate's gonna walk us through some outfits for styling Thursday boots. And Thursday sells a whole lot of boots, but we figured we'd land on the most popular boot and the most popular leathers. What are they? What do we got?
So this is the Captain boot. It's a nice lace up with the cap toe. And the reason why this boot is so popular is that it's not too sleek, but it's also not too chunky. So it's a good in-between boot that you can dress up or dress down. We classify our leathers between two different parts. There's the rugged and resilient, and it's basically designed so you don't really have to treat it, like condition it or anything. Like it's made to just get beat up and everything, while the classy leathers, there's a little more smoother, they're a little more shinier, and I would say they're a little more versatile.
Let's talk about a black matte outfit.
What I chose for my outfit was a black matte point collar jacket, the Keanu, paired with just a black t-shirt and some light wash denim. And I think that's a good balance with light and darks together.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm never great at wearing black boots. I just default to brown and almost every other color. But I agree that black boots with light blue jeans is like a really nice way to add some contrast, and it makes them like feel like they fit a bit better with that outfit. For me, I don't think I wore anything from Thursday in the clothes that I was wearing here. I'm trying sort of, I would rather people think that they don't have to buy a whole wardrobe from Thursday in order to wear a pair of Thursday boots. But of course, Nate works here, and he did put on me this black matte leather jacket to go with the black matte boots. And the Keanu jacket you wore was also the black matte, is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, that is a cool thing about Thursday, is that they have, not for all of their leathers, because they've got a bazillion leathers for their boots, but the black matte and the Arizona Adobe and a couple of other ones, you can get the same leather on a jacket and on boots, and on like a belt as well if you wanted to.
Yeah, and even bags also.
Yeah, there you go, you can go. To see the pants, to see some leather pants, leather shirt. When people think about Goodyear welted boots and menswear, they tend to go, oh, like Americana, like jeans or like chinos and a denim shirt and like a leather jacket. So I did this. This is a buffalo leather jacket actually from Schutt. And at first I thought maybe I should get a more rugged one, but the branding ones, I think they do work fine when you're dressing them down, even to what is categorically workwear, although not actually something I would never actually do any work.
Yeah, I mean, I wore this boot, I paired it with a suit, but to keep it a little more, I guess to dress it down a little bit, I wore a knit polo with it. So I think it's a good blend where it's like not too rugged and not too dressy. I think it's a good in between.
Yeah, God, that looked so good, that outfit. This is why I had to come here to someone who professionally knows how to dress well, because I'm just always just slapping things together. I'm doing with a sticky tape and glue. Here's a question. So when I wanted to come up with a business casual sort of look for the boots, one reason actually I was glad we had the Brandy instead of the Arizona Adobe is that the eyelets of the Arizona one are quite shiny. So I was trying to think of like a way to wear the black matte ones in a smarter fit, because I think the really shiny eyelets on a boot, it's pretty hard to wear that very dressily, right?
Yes, but I don't know, I feel like that little detail that shouldn't make or break. Like, I think you're too fixated on that detail. I think overall it's more about like the leather itself and like the style. So yeah, with the Arizona Adobe, it's a very more rugged boot. So whether the eyelets were shiny or matte, I still feel like it would look better utilizing a more like shinier boot like the Brandy Captain.
Yeah, that's true. And also it's business casual, right? Like it's chinos and it's tweed a lot of the time. Like these are actually very hard wearing outdoorsy fabrics. Back in the day they were anyway. Do we have to pause for these sirens? Boy, there's a lot of sirens here in Flatiron. There really is no downside to living in New York. For me personally, if it's boots, I'd normally forego a tie, but with business casual outfits especially, you can have like pretty hard wearing leathers. The other day I was wearing horse leather shoes with a tie. Speaking of wearing these boots with non-jeans, I feel like a lot of people, they think boots, I'm can only wear them with jeans. What do you think are some good pants to wear with captain boots?
For me, I've paired it with chinos, paired it with cargo pants, even like canvas pants. Ultimately, I really feel like they shouldn't be just classified with one type of pants. Like you can wear them with any sorts. I think it's more about like how the pants like interacts with the boots. So I guess more like sizing, like the fit of it. Like you don't want it to be skin tight or you don't want it to be extremely baggy. The leg opening on the boots, how it looks, how it interacts with each other is, I think, more important than like specific types of pants.
That's a really good point. And it's also something I wanted to touch on. As we've mentioned, the captain boot, very popular because it's not too chunky and it's not too slim. It is a tapered boot. When I was looking up some stuff on like how to style Thursday boots, what other people were saying, they were like, well, you know, it's a tapered boot. It's good for tapered pants. But do you think like you can wear the more full-legged cuts?
I think I've been wearing more straight-legged pants with the boots. As long as like the leg opening isn't too wide, I still think it works perfectly with it.
Yeah, it's funny. I have these Buck Mason chinos that I was wearing, and those are the full saddle cut. Like that's like their like roomiest, you know. And the leg opening is a good 8 inches. And I'll be honest, like you know, I like the captain boot, but when I kind of just found myself wearing those pants today, and I was like, I don't know if this is gonna work with the captains. But no, it really does look totally fine. But you know, meanwhile, if you're like a Gen Z with like a 15-inch leg opening, that's a lot. But you know, you need specialized footwear for that.
I also think like at first, you know, a lot of people, since they're so used to wearing like slim fitting jeans, when they see like straight fit or wider fitting jeans, it's just foreign to them. So they think, oh, it doesn't work, but that's not necessarily true. So I think an easy way you can try transitioning by getting like slowly wider and wider pants. I think that's a good way to, I guess, explore new options. So you're not just limited to just, oh, slim fitting skinny jeans.
Yeah. It's funny. I've been meaning to do a video called like the millennial pilgrimage to straight leg fits. Cause it's like, it's millennials. We had to be tapered and skinny, and now we have to, at a minimum, be straight leg these days, and it's like we're all having identity crises about it. Hey, while we're talking about jeans, what about cuffing jeans to show off the boots?
That all comes down to personal preference, right? So, you know, before, obviously I loved cuffing my pants because I did want to showcase, you know, the boots more. But nowadays when I'm wearing straight fit jeans, I think since the leg opening is wider, cuffing the pants might look a bit strange.
What's funny is you and I both make content to show boots to people, and a lot of the time I'm cuffing pants in a way that I wouldn't cuff them in the real world. I'll always get people mad at me in the comments like, why are your pants so high? I'm like, I'm trying to show you the product I'm reviewing, buddy.
Yeah, sometimes even, you know, when you're wearing straight fit pants and, you know, they're covering the boots, it's kind of defeating the purpose of showcasing them.
We're exploring different outfits and stuff, and I had some black jeans. I thought they were the wrong kind of black for these boots, and Nate suggested wearing brown boots with black jeans, and I clutched my pearls. I was like, what are you talking about? That's just wrong. And I was reminded at how boring a dresser I am, and how actually people who know anything about menswear don't think that there are unbreakable rules like this. Do you encounter resistance when it comes to, you know, mixing your earth tones and your cool tones, or is that just not a thing in the 2020s?
I feel like mixing black and brown, like that rule is very antiquated. I can see where, you know, if you're wearing a completely black suit and just a brown shoe, that's where it would be wrong. But I think there is a right way to do it. So if I am mixing black and browns, I always make sure I do have another piece of brown to tie in the boot with the top to make sure it's a complete outfit, because it's all about like balance. So if I'm wearing like a brown leather jacket with black pants and the brown boots, that'll complete the outfit.
Yeah, you're totally right. What do you think of this old rule? Like if you're wearing a certain color boot, your belt should match it. And I've heard others say like, you know, ideally your shirt should match it, or the jacket should match it, or more just like a complementary color elsewhere in the outfit.
Would it be weird if I talked about like, you know, ultimately style is subjective and you don't have to follow these, no rules are like hard.
Yeah, I love it.
So like you can have a brown boot and brown like belt. They don't have to be the exact same brown, but you know, as long as they're kind of similar, I think that still works.
I was struggling before because I had these brandy boots on with a jacket that was a darker brown than the brandy boots, and I had 2 different shades of brown belts. And I was like, does it match the jacket? Does it match the boots? And I just sat here having an identity crisis because I'm much too neurotic for menswear.
Yeah, I think, you know, you're overthinking it. As long as you're not wearing a black belt, then I think you're fine.
Fair enough. Okay, here's one more question. How about wearing these boots in summer?
So wearing Captain boots in warmer weather, I think it's all about fabric options. So, you know, you might want to gravitate a little more towards lighter colors. So like lighter color pants, like tan chinos. And then for your top, you can wear like a linen short sleeve camp collar shirt. I think that works perfectly.
Yeah, you're right. It's more about like, yeah, the colors being relaxed.
Colors and like the fabric being breathable.
Yeah, right. Whereas if it's like a pretty severe, like glossy black leather for boots, like I kind of have trouble doing that with like a breezy linen shirt kind of thing.
I mean, if you wear a black linen shirt.
Yeah, you can. I know what I'm talking about. So sort of summarizing, obviously if you look at the outfits that we came out here with, we have the brown boots and the black boots, which is like the eternal debate. Which side do you pick? And yeah, our outfits were like largely tonally consistent. Like they were largely kind of warm for this and kind of cool for this. But I think the message here is people say, oh, well, just get 2 pairs of boots and then you can have your boots for different color palettes. But that's a bit unrealistic for the average person to say, no, you have to buy a whole new pair of boots if you want to wear black pants. And actually, the one color of boots can go more places than some fashion guru might make you think, right?
Yeah, and like there's such a wide spectrum of brown, and so you don't always have to feel like they need to match exactly, or otherwise it doesn't work. I think, you know, the overall consistency is what matters the most.
Yeah. Before we go, what's your favorite leather right now? Your favorite Thursday leather right now?
I think the rugged and resilient tobacco leather is actually one of my favorites because it's, in my mind, it's actually a little bit of, it has greenish undertones. So it's actually not brown, not black, but they can work actually with both styles, like black pants, blue jeans, just like, I think it's a good in between.
Yeah, you're right. We didn't even touch on like the fact that, you know, there are colors that can cross those two worlds if you think there's a barrier between them, and also there isn't. That's made up and you can wear whatever you want. But if you do happen to think like black has to stay black and brown has to stay earthy, yeah, greens are great. You've also got actually more properly green captains if people wanted like that olive
dark
one.
olive suede.
Yeah. There's more you can get than just brown or black.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you where to get it. It's thursdayboots.com. / Captain Boot or whatever. Anyway, the link's in the description below if you want to check out these boots. Nate Ma here is Randall Westmore on Instagram below. Give him a follow. And we're not saying you have to wear the exact same things we wore, but we're just hoping this can be a helpful starter template to give you some inspiration yourself. That's the Captain Boot. Nate Ma, thank you for coming on the channel.
Thank you.
Right, see you in the next one.